Welcome back, Texas hockey fans, to Clean Sheet of Ice, a Texas hockey podcast sponsored by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang over here, Zang responsibly all season long. I went to the game as a fan last night against the Anaheim Ducks. We've got a lot of news. We've got a Stadium Series coming back to Dallas. We beat the Oilers on Tuesday night in a shootout, and then last night was a dud, but we got back-to-back games this weekend. Can't wait to get into it today on Clean Sheet of Ice. I'm your host, Stone Strinkman, joined always on Fridays by Savannah Humoller. How are we doing?
We're great. You know what? Even though the Stars could not pull off a win on Thursday night against the Ducks, it's Friday. We're moving into the weekend, on to the next. I'm feeling great.
Yeah, a lot of hockey being played this month. I feel like I don't have an off night ever. It seems like it just keeps happening. Games keep happening, which is good, but also
I think
tiring.
there's like 7 home games this month.
That's funny.
6 or 7. So it's a good amount.
Yeah, but went to the game as a fan last night. I got the wig hat on, the mullet wig hat. I took the mullet off. I hate the way wigs feel. It's like the first thing I did when I got the hat last night. When I got into the arena, I was like, I am not wearing a wig. It scratches my skin. It just makes me feel icky. I couldn't do it, but I have the hat. So if you got the wig hat, send us pictures. It was a fun time. Craig Ludwig was out there at the barbershop last night and talking to all the fans, talked to us for a little bit. But yeah. What do you think about
the wig? For the men's. You know what? It's funny because when I'm up in the press box and I obviously sit in one of the production booths, like I get to see some of the camera shots of the fans like before they go live on the Jumbotron. And it's just funny to see the fans with them. I was like, this is a vibe. I say that they do that once a year. Like, I think it is kind of funny. And there were some good like fan moments, fan engagement moments, like on the Jumbotron with all the mullets. I think it's entertaining. But yeah, putting one on, I personally would not. So I get what you're saying when you're like, it's itchy, I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't do it myself.
I don't know what it is like, but everyone was wearing them. They were handing them out and everyone immediately put it on. They couldn't wait to put it on. So great job by PNC Bank and the Stars for putting that together. But
yeah.
We had an eventful week, Savannah. We had the Oilers back in town. But before we do that, Monday Night Football happened. Didn't get to watch it because shout out to ESPN for just cucking YouTube TV. And I'm not able to watch football. I'm not able to watch basketball. I'm not able to watch Monday Night Football. It's a disaster right now. I don't know what to do with my life. I have to illegally stream it because I'm not getting another service. And I'm not going to cave to Disney. I'm going to hold out. I'm just going to hold out forever. But Monday Night Football happens. Gary Bettman's in the house. Jamie Benn, Tyler Sagan, Jason Robertson, and Wyatt Johnston were all there at the Cowboys game Monday Night Football to announce big news. The Stars are getting a Stadium Series February of 2027. So next season, they're going to be playing at Jerry World in Arlington at the Cowboys Stadium. We're back. We got another outdoor game, kind of an outdoor game. They're going to open the roof is what they said. So I guess it counts as an outdoor game. But I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I know fans are excited about it. It's not at the Cotton Bowl, but it's going to be an electric experience.
Let's go. I'm so excited for this. And so when the news was announced, I was at the Cowboys game because I was working that day. And all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. And I had no like knowledge that this was going down. Usually like I have some type of like hint that there's something going on. I know Brad Alberts tweeted out the eye emojis earlier that day. Like most people thought it was going to be the uniforms and maybe like that, the jersey coming up, but I didn't really like read into it too much. And so I'm at the game, I'm in the middle of like doing an activation and all of a sudden my phone's like blowing up. I'm like, what is going on? They're like, Gary Bettman's here. Stars are coming back, Stadium Series. And I was like, I can't believe I'm in this building right now. And like here, we're going to have the Stadium Series for the Stars in 2027. It's unreal. It's one of the coolest stadiums. I know AT&T Stadium inside and out, and having it seats about 80,000 and then you can stand probably 20 to 30. So if you're looking at 110,000 people potentially for a Stadium Series in Dallas, like unbelievable. Well done. Gary Bettman, like unbelievable job to pull this one off.
It's going to be incredible. I'm very excited about it. I've known for several months now that this was happening, and it was happening at Jerry World. And I knew it was going to be next season, not this year. They were trying to push for this year. They gave it to Florida, and they're going to play in Miami, I believe. So that's going to be really cool at Loan Depot Park, maybe, I think in Miami, the Marlins Park. So I think that one's going to be really cool. I would like to go down to that, but I think it's like January 2nd, and I'm going to be with family. So it's holiday season. So I'm not going to go to that. But getting a home game, Winter Classic, Stadium Series, whatever you want to call it, is going to be incredible. They already know the opponent. The Stars know the opponent.
Right.
The NHL knows the opponent. It has to be Colorado, right?
You would think it has to be like just a really good division rivalry inside AT&T Stadium for a Stadium Series. Like you have to pick one of your all-time rivals, and that has to be Colorado. Come on.
Yeah. And the last one in 2020, we played Nashville at the Cotton Bowl, which was a lot of fun, which was a great matchup. It was a great game. Matt Duchene was actually playing for the Predators. He scored the first goal of that game, I believe. So that was really funny. But I think if it's not Colorado, it's Minnesota. But I would hope that it's Colorado. There's more rivalry there. I know Minnesota hates us, but it's like we haven't had the rivalry in the playoffs against them so far, except for 1 year. What was it, 24, 23? And it was just one game. It was a one series, one off. We've played the Avalanche like every year in the playoffs this decade. So it would make sense that it's Colorado. But I think it's going to be an awesome experience. Like you said, 20 to 30,000 that can stand there. I wonder if they're going to put seats like on the field around the ice to add an extra capacity to it, because the Cotton Bowl had 90-something thousand people. I think they're going to try to beat that, have probably one of the biggest ones. I know the Ohio one had 100 and whatever thousand this year for Columbus and Detroit when they played at Buckeye Stadium in the Horseshoe. So I think we're going to try to beat that one. I know Jerry would love that. Jerry Jones would love to just have the record and have all the eyeballs on him and his stadium. So I would assume that they're going to try to figure out something to make sure it gets over 100,000. It would be sick.
And I think that venue specifically is so great based on the fact that you can do so many different things inside AT&T Stadium. Like what they're doing right now prior to the World Cup next summer, when they're going to be like pushing out some of the current field suites and having to build more of an actual soccer field. It's just wild what they can do operationally inside that building. And so being able to build an ice rink, like I'm sure that they have all of the plans and layouts and structures in order to see where they're going to fit people and where they can push people the most up to the glass. And regardless, you're getting probably upwards of 100,000 people for that game, if not more. And I think that is going to be insane. And I cannot wait. Like the countdown is on.
I think it's going to be a better viewing experience than what the Cotton Bowl was. You have the biggest scoreboard known to man in the Cowboy Stadium. I think that's going to help out the people that are way up top at the top of Jerry World. And I've been there. I went to a game in 2019 to watch the Dolphins and Cowboys. It's a great stadium. It's going to be a great viewing experience, I think. And it's going to be different. Obviously, being in a football stadium with a hockey rink on there, it's a little bit smaller, and the puck is so small, you got to be kind of close to even see it. When you're up in the rafters at AAC, you can still see the puck. You're close enough. There's only 20,000 people there, but 80,000 plus is going to be, it's going to be an experience. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. Can't wait for it. It's going to be all about Jerry Jones. So everybody kind of prep for that. It's going to be a Jerry Jones show for about a week. But the other news that I think is going to happen that week is that we're getting an expansion announcement that week.
Okay. That's a good note, just based on the fact that they've had a lot of these conversations. And there's been some rumors around for different areas where they may be putting an expansion team, but that's a good note, because they do plan around these big events to drop bigger news. So
yeah, they're meeting with the two groups that they've pretty much chosen the cities. They've pretty much agreed to pricing. Now it's all about logistics and having the stadium ready and the ice ready and all that kind of stuff for these teams. I would suspect that we're going to see expansion teams in 27, 28. For that season. I think they're going to announce it at the Winter Classic Stadium Series in Dallas. And I think you're going to see a lot more marketing in the state of Texas and about the Dallas Stars from the NHL perspective, from TNT, from ESPN. I think you're going to see a little bit more homer bias starting in 2026. I think it's happening. It's Houston and Atlanta. And I think they're going to market a lot Texas for the next year. So that's good for us, because we always get the short end of the stick. No one ever talks about us. And maybe that's a double-edged sword and it's going to be bad, but I hope it's good. And I think we're going to get a lot more publicity from the NHL specifically, and then all the TV networks and all that kind of stuff starting in 26. So I would look out for that. They're going to meet at the Olympic break with those two ownership groups that are going to come in. And I think that's when you're going to see the announcement is either end of 26 or at the Stadium Series in 27 in February.
Well, you know what? Please put a pin in this exact moment. clip this portion off of the podcast so you can look back on this in 2027 when some of these announcements are dropped and say that you called a lot of this first. So just make sure you pin this.
Dom's done a great job of the investigative journalism, trying to figure out all the stuff. We know pretty much everything that there is to know right now that isn't public. So it's going to be fun. The state of Texas is going to get another hockey team. So everyone just kind of brace for that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a rivalry built in, and that team's going to be good right off the bat because they're changing the expansion rules. So it's going to be different. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to get into that for Stadium Series next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Tuesday, day after that, fun game. Terrifying
Very fun game. Very fun. Wild.
Absolutely terrifying.
It's just the Oilers and having that matchup, and that was the first time that they had seen each other since the postseason. And then you have the storyline of Glenn Gulletson, who is now the head coach of the Dallas Stars, and what he did with the Oilers over the past few years, working with all those different players and some of the best players on this planet. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, you can't go, unbelievable. And I think the Oilers have just been such a difficult team to play for the Stars for so many years. And I swear by this, that Stuart Skinner is like the ghost it's the monkey on the back for Dallas for some reason. And I'm happy they were able to get past that point. But Stuart Skinner, for some reason, he plays so good against the Stars. And it's the wildest concept to me because it's all these other teams that he does not really do well against. And I don't know. It's one of those things that I think about, but it was an incredible game. I'm happy the Stars were able to pull out a shootout win. Wyatt Johnston with the game winner right there, but wild ups and downs with that one.
Yeah, for what seemed like the 20th straight game, we've only played 12 games, 13 games now. The Stars went down 2-0 in the first period, and you're sitting there just like, not again, man. Leon Draisaitl's power play goal, though, from that angle, which we saw in the playoffs a couple of times in that series. Like, every time he does it, it just doesn't – it defies physics. I don't understand how it works. I don't know how he can shoot it from the red line there and back there on the goal line, just one times it in. On Casey DeSmith, which I was kind of sad that Jake – wasn't able to play that game. I know he would want to get one back against the Oilers after last season, after the Game 5 debacle in the press conference and everything as well. I wanted Jake to be in there, but Casey played a hell of a game. Thought he was really good. He looks a lot different than Jake. I always say it that it looks like he's squirmish and he's kind of flailing all over the ice, but that's kind of the game that Casey plays. He's a quicker goalie. He's smaller than Jake is. Jake's 6'6", basically. Casey's not. He's listed at 6 feet. I don't think he's 6 feet, but it could be wrong. But he plays a lot different, so I know people were like, why is he flailing all over the ice? That's his game, that he's in control while looking out of control, so don't freak out there. But going down 2-0, then in the second period, you get a power play goal from Mikko Rantanen off that weird bat-in, tap-in off of a rebound from Jason Robertson and I believe Wyatt Johnston. So good start in the second period. You know, you kind of held them at bay. You got that power play goal. You're within one, and in the third period, Connor McDavid gets that goal. And you're like, not again. But then the Stars, less than a minute later, Mikko Rantanen scores again. And you're like, okay, we're right back in it. You got plenty of time. You got over just under 12 minutes left in the game. You can go get a tie and then go to overtime. You get a point without Matt Duchene, without Radek Faksa, without Rupe Hintz that night. If you get a point there, that's a steal. But then overtime was horrifying in like the best of ways. It's just Miro Heiskanen on Connor McDavid. It was the story in overtime. Oh, yeah. It was incredible. The back skating with Connor McDavid going at full speed. Miro's back skating and keeping up with McDavid, gets the stick on the puck and knocks it away from McDavid a couple of times in overtime. It was just an incredible display of athleticism from Miro Heiskanen. He dominated that whole overtime. They started 2 defensemen on the faceoff to start overtime. It was a weird one, but hell of a game.
Hell of a game.
It was just awesome. And the shootout was great. The Leon Draisaitl goal was absolutely nasty. Jason Robertson just doesn't miss on shootouts, and neither does Wyatt Johnston, apparently. So it's a great game.
And Wyatt Johnston specifically, I want to note on him. So he had 3 assists all in the game, and then the game-winning goal at the end. And after, in the press conference, I asked Glenn Gulletson just what he thought of Wyatt Johnston's game. And he was like, for him to have the game that he had in Florida against the Panthers and him being able to step up in big moments, And then a game like this against the Oilers, him being able to step up, know exactly where the puck is, and be able to really read things very well and get in the net. That's, Glenn Golitzin is impressed by what Wyatt Johnston is doing. And I know Wyatt Johnston last year was his career year in goals and assists. I think he had 71 points to finish out the regular season.
Yep.
I think that he is going to go exponentially higher this season at the rate that he is going at right now with the points he's being able to build in each game. Wyatt Johnston right now, I think, is the heart of this team.
Yeah, I think he's on pace for over 100 points. I think he's at 17 points after last night. He's got, let's just check this, 8 assists and 9 goals, I believe, is what he's at right now. So yeah, pretty good.
Good. 9 goals, 8 assists. He's climbing the ladder right now.
And then Mikko has 20 points.
And then Mikko last night, gosh, he does it again. He has another goal in the game, couple of, I think 1 or 2 assists. He and Wyatt Johnston right now are just holding down the fort. And then one stat that I pulled before the game as well is with Rantanen, Johnston, and Robertson all playing on the same line, that line has been creating the most scoring chances, like 3-1 against their opponents. So for some reason that chemistry is working between that group, and they've been like the forefront in the last few games.
Yeah, and last season when we traded for Mikko, I was a big proponent of having Rupe and Mikko on a line. They're Finnish guys. They played together. They grew up together. I mean, they played on World Juniors together. I just thought that was a good fit. But then the more I watched Wyatt Johnston on a line with Mikko Rantanen, I'm like, that's the guy. It's a right-handed shot, centerman, to help set up Mikko. He's used to that with Nathan McKinnon over the last 10 years. Like, he played with a right-handed centerman. I just thought it was really good. And then you had Jason Robertson on the other side. It's like everyone is a incredible scoring threat. Everyone's an incredible assisting threat. Like, they know how to set each other up, and they know how to just get to the right spots. And I think that's a really good line. And then you get Rupe back last night, and he goes on a line with Sagan, and it was good. Like, I don't think it was bad, but Rope says he's just coming back. Like, he's got to come back from injury. He's got to ease his way back into it. He wasn't that. I don't think he was 100% last night, but we'll probably see that over the next week. But bad game against the Ducks. This is bad. Like, you get the 2-0 lead, and you're sitting there and like, it's going to be pretty. And then the second period, it all came crashing down.
See, and that's the thing, not being able to hold the lead and them really kind of going downhill, I think, past the second period. And that's a note that Glenn Golitzin even pointed out, like the second period is when things fell off.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the fact that, Wyatt Johnston, he really came in there and was just like very hot last night. Mikko Rantanen doing his part. Tyler Seguin finally getting a goal against the Anaheim Ducks. Great. That's a great note right there.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the Ducks were way more speedy. They were able to just go in on Jake Ottinger. And that was the thing, is Jake was doing his part, but the defensemen for the Stars were not there last night. There was not a lot of great play when I was looking at that group. I think that they were just spaced where they shouldn't be. And with the Ducks being so speedy as they were, I think the defensemen were having a hard time keeping up with them and being able to block some of these shots. And the Ducks are stacked. Like, I look at this roster and I'm like, you have Chris Kreider, you have Trouba. I mean, just some of these guys, Leo Carlson, I think it's a really good group, and there's a reason that they're first in the Pacific right now. And I think they're stacked in their depth, to be honest with you, which is surprising because the Ducks have been on this climb for many, many years to try to get to a good spot. And I think they're in a pretty decent one right now.
Yeah, and they trade Trevor Zegras in the offseason to the Flyers. You're sitting there like, all right, what is this team going into the season? Maybe they're a little bit better because they got a little bit more veteran good players, and maybe it works out. Cutter Gauthier has been incredible as well. He had a great shot last night on Jake, which I think was kind of a bad let-in by Jake. Was that the one that went 5-hole on him? It seemed like Jake hasn't played in a week, and he really hasn't. So I think that's kind of what it was, just shaking off a little bit of rust. There's maybe 1 or 2 goals where you look at Jake and you're like, you probably should have had that. The one that bounced off of his glove when he was bringing it down, if he just kept it where it was, it's right in the glove, makes the save. And then that one that went 5-hole. I think those were the kind of the 2 goals that I look at that, yeah, you probably should have had those. But the other ones is kind of just one-on-one with the goaltender. And skaters are so good. Forwards are so good at shooting the puck now, and we see it in the shootouts. We see it on one-on-ones, see it on breakaways. Like a lot of the time, those guys are going to score, and of course, you want to have those saves. But I'm not going to blame Jake for those. And it's kind of on the defense. The defense didn't look as crispy last night as they did against the Oilers. I thought they looked pretty good against the Oilers, considering the amount of speed that they have with McDavid and Draisaitl and all those guys. But yeah, it was just a tough game, especially when you score 5 goals and they haven't scored more than 3 in a while. Just seems like you probably should have won that game, and they didn't. They didn't get outshot either. That was the problem. They outshot the Ducks. So they
Right.
had more block shots. They weren't as physical last night. 22 to 15 hits. That's their lowest amount of the season, I believe, is 15 hits. So not ideal. But they went 3 for 5 on the power play. The power play's humming at this point. That's a really
power
good sign.
play. Yeah, power play is good, but the penalty kill, that is a little question mark right there. Yeah. I don't know where things are falling off as far as that group goes. Like, it's decent during different games. Mm-hmm. And then last night, I just saw a lot of gaps in the penalty kill. And when you're looking at, Elaine Nazardine, who ran one of the best PKs in the league last year, and then this year it's a little bit more rocky. I'm not sure where the drop off is in this group right now, because there's not a lot of change with some of the defensemen, but I'm not sure they're keeping up with some of these teams that are coming in. So I think that's one area that they'll have to focus on a little bit.
And we heard Glenn after the Oilers game say that the guys are right there. They know the system. They're just in between, and they're thinking a little bit too much, because in previous years they had to be exact and perfect and not make mistakes and rigid structure. And now Glenn is trying to free them up and be hockey players and make hockey plays, because at the end of the day, like, speed and thoughts and all that kind of stuff kind of go away when you're on the ice. Like, you have to think fast or not think at all and just make plays. And he's trying to get them to that point. Whereas right now, I think they're kind of in between. And I think you saw a little bit of that on the PK this season. I don't know if it's DeBoer's exact system and everything, because obviously DeBoer had a hand in everything, is what we've kind of figured out over the last 3 years with Naz. And it's Naz's system, and DeBoer gave him that system and everything. But I wonder if DeBoer had certain things that he's pointing out, like, you have to do these things, and then the rest of it's yours. Right. And now it's all Naz, and Naz is able to be a little bit more free with it. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if they've changed the system at all. It doesn't look like they've changed it very much, but you got kind of some new faces on the PK, especially PK2 on the defense side. So it's just it's a little rocky right now, but the power play is scoring. If you can figure out the PK at the end of the day, they're going to be just fine.
There you go. And then also, I mean, you got to take a look at some of these injuries. Great that Rope Hintz is back. And like you said, hopefully he'll warm up a little bit better. He might not be the 100%. And hopefully you're seeing Matt Duchene come back here sometime soon. Big note, we got to see Jamie Benn, who did skate at the morning skate yesterday before the Ducks game. And, maybe he's starting to make a slow progression back onto the ice, and it's great that we got to see him. So I think that's something that Stars fans can look forward to probably later in the month of November. Some of these injuries settling a little, and maybe that will fix a couple things, but we'll see. It takes a little bit for some of these guys to come back after injuries, and we've seen that year over year. So got to be patient with it, but it progressively happens.
Yeah, and Rope, I thought, looked pretty good last night. I don't think he looked bad. I just don't think he's all the way there yet. His shot looked fast. He was still fast. He was throwing hits. He was in the muck and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think Rope played a bad game. He's just getting back into it. We'll see where the lines fall and what goal he puts out there. So, but with Matthew Shane, it's just like, we have no idea, because it's not concussion protocol anymore. And he's still day to day, but also there's no timetable, is what he said. So it's like, we don't know what it is. We never will. And then Jamie getting on the ice is huge, but I would assume it's like a month from now. They're very slow to bring players back. They want to make sure that they come back at 100% and they're ready to go. And especially with Jamie, he's a little bit older, and it was a collapsed lung. That was a very serious injury. So I'm sure they're going to be really safe with that. And it's going to take 4 weeks for him to get, it's going to be 2 weeks of just skating and doing some drills and all that kind of stuff on his own. And then you're going to have 2-3 weeks of contact drills and all that kind of stuff before he comes back. So I wouldn't rush Jamie back. I don't think you're going to see him until maybe the end of November, maybe early December.
Yeah, exactly. Slow progression, but we will get there at some point. So
it's going to be fine. We're going to get our guys back. It's going to be fine. Everything's okay. That was a tough game against the Ducks. They scored 7 goals, which is preposterous at this point. I don't even know.
They're
It just
stacked.
didn't make any
They're
sense.
stacked. Ian Moore, he had his first NHL goal. The rookie there, Leo Carlson, Chris Kreider. Gosh, I'm telling you, they're actually pretty decent. I'm
They're 2
impressed.
points
I
up
was
on
impressed
Vegas.
last night.
2 points up on Vegas. They're 9-3-1. Like, they're a good team. So losing to the Ducks, which happens every season, by the way, just Ducks.
They did lose last year to the Ducks at home.
It was like 2-1.
So,
yeah. And it was early in the season. Same thing. That it is what it is. Every team in the NHL can beat anyone at this point. Goldson mentions that almost every press conference is how much parity there is in the league.
Yeah.
He just hammers that home just to make sure that we know it. So, yeah, tough loss, but you got back-to-back this weekend against Nashville, a 2:30 game. So they get back a little bit earlier, which is nice. And then they got a 6 o'clock game against the Kraken at home. We'll preview both of them. We're going to record Sunday night, probably during the Seattle game, so we won't have a lot of details on that one, unfortunately, due to scheduling, so we can't get it out. We got to have an episode on Monday. We're not going to record on Monday morning, so you're going to have to deal with it. But we do have a giveaway on Sunday night's episode, so make sure you tune into that giveaway on the pod. There's going to be some markers that you gotta do. You got to follow us, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. So pay attention to Sunday's episode. We are giving away something, and it's a big one. It's a fun one. So if you weren't able to come to the game on Tuesday, there's a big giveaway there. We're giving away one of those things. Just a little teaser for everybody. So,
okay.
Tune in on Sunday.
The moose.
Tune in on Sunday to hear how you can win that bobblehead. It's going to be sick. But Preds, 2:30 on Saturday. What do we think about this game?
I think that the Stars will get a win in Nashville. I'm not sure ideally who would start in goal for that game. It may be Casey DeSmith. It might be Jake Ottinger. We will learn that later on. I believe that they are doing a practice today before they fly out to Nashville. So we'll kind of see what the practice lines look like and any other updates. But I do believe that they can take a road win in Nashville and then come back and be able to play on Sunday prior to the Kraken.
Yeah, I think they get that win on Saturday in Nashville. I think Jake starts, if I had to guess. Just get him 2 games in a row, just kind of get him back in the field. A little 2:30 mate knee. He's really good on the weekends as well. Last year, I think he lost like only 2 games on the weekends. It's like 18-2 or something like that.
That's a crazy. Really interesting stat.
Yeah, I was watching the 4Play golf Barstool video that they did with the Dallas Stars with Jake and Casey, Tyler, and Matt Duchesne. And Frankie Borelli, the guy from Barstool, brought that stat up to Jake, and he's like, I had no idea, but I guess I'm a weekend warrior.
That's like, funny.
So I think you're definitely getting both goalies this weekend. You're going to see them because it's a back-to-back. But I would assume that you're getting Jake in this game on Saturday just because he's your starting goalie. He's going to play multiple games in a row. That's just my guess. Could be wrong. I don't know.
Yep. We like that. I will go with a 3-1 over Nashville on Saturday.
I'll go 4-2.
Okay.
I scored 5 goals last night, so I'm feeling frisky.
All right.
Power plays. Get some power plays and score some more power play goals. The power play is really fun. They're scoring at like a 40% clip right now on the power play.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Love to see that. And then Kraken on Sunday. Not a good team, but Mason Marchment comes back to town.
I love that. He'll be able to hang out maybe with his bestie, Jake Ottinger, see him for a little bit, the new dads, they can connect. But yeah, we love seeing Mason Marchment back in the building. That'll be really fun. I'm sure he'll have fun out on the ice with some of those guys. He'll probably be chirping them a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think Sunday should be a good game. I would assume and hopefully predict that the Stars would win that game. I will go with let's go. Like a 4-2, probably what you're saying for Saturday.
I'll go 3-0. I'll predict a shutout.
Ooh, okay. I like
get Casey a shutout.
There you go.
He had a couple last year, I think. So get Casey a shutout. So Jake had his first child born on Sunday or Monday, one of the 2 days. Big deal for Jake. It's awesome. Love that for him. Someone mentioned to him, like, are you going to put like a baby otter on your mask for next season or something like that? And he's like, oh, I should do that. Like the baby cartoon otter. That'd be really cool. And I said it under my breath. I didn't say it to Jake, but I was like, are you not worried about the baby being traded? Because every time he puts a teammate on his mask, the baby gets traded. The teammate gets traded. And I said it under my breath as a joke. It's a joke. We're not trading the baby. But I just had to mention that. Just had to
That's
mention
funny. Well, last night at the game, the Jumbotron, they had baby otter AI filters. So they like do that where you can scan your face, you take a picture, and then it was like a baby otter that it transformed you. And I was like, that's actually really cute. You had to do something for Jake Ottinger with the baby otter. So that'd be cool if he did something on his goalie mask. I'd like that.
Be great. Just don't trade the baby, Jim.
Correct. Please don't.
Can't trade the baby. That's a permanent mainstay in the Ottinger household. We got to keep the baby.
The otters stay here in Dallas.
But it's a big weekend. Get some wins. Get right back in the win column. It'll be just fine. You beat the Oilers in a shootout. I know it's a shootout, but at the end of the day, you got the 2 points there. You played really well on the power play against Anaheim. Defense was a little lackluster. It is what it is. Every team's going to be able to beat every team this year. You might see less wins this year for the Stars, but it is what it is. Teams are really good now in the NHL, so I'm not worried about it. Get 2 wins this weekend and just keep cruising along. You get another road trip in the midweek there next week. We'll be back on Monday morning with a new episode. We're recording during the Kraken game, so don't yell at us, but there will be a giveaway, so that should make up for it. So sorry about the less analysis on the Sunday game, but we'll be back on Monday with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice. Savannah, you got any last words?
Nope. I'll have some feature stories coming up for next week. And we also have Hall of Fame weekend coming up. So I'll get the inside scoop on all that stuff. I'll be hanging out with Ralph Strangis most of the weekend and his crew. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. And we'll see if the Stars can get some wins this weekend.
Yep. It's going to be fun. Back-to-back this weekend for the Dallas Stars. Thank you to our sponsors, though. Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary Mix. We love Zing Zang over here, sang responsibly all season long. It's America's #1 Bloody Mary Mix for a reason. Shout out to Zing Zang for sponsoring this episode, and shout out to Underdog Fantasy. I love that. Love Underdog. I've been winning some money during the hockey season. Just play your first $5 with Underdog using promo code CSOI when you sign up. Play your first $5, get $100 in bonus entries. So you can use that for NFL, NBA, NHL, college football. You got them all on Underdog Fantasy. Thank you for sponsoring this episode as well. And we'll be back on Monday morning with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.